Many years ago, Albert Einstein handed out a test to his students. And when he did this, one of his students looked over the questions and noticed that they were the same as they were on the last exam. So he raises his hand and says, "Sir, these are the same questions you gave us last year." Einstein replied, "That's right. The questions are the same, but today the answers are different. You see, we always ask the same questions about our health. How do I get healthy? How do I stay healthy? How do I reduce my risk of getting sick and being impacted by diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer?" Well, today the answers are different. Today, the answers to getting better results faster are here. My name's Dr. Ryan, and I'm a wellness expert. By you watching this workshop today, it tells me two things. It tells me, one, that your health is a priority, and two, that you're an action taker. You're not somebody who lets outside circumstances dictate and interfere with you or your family advancing your health. Now, once you discover what the information I'm going to share with you today can do for you, how you can have more energy, reduce sickness, be pain-free, and dramatically minimize your chances of needing drugs and surgery, being impacted by the diseases that are robbing your friends and family of life, and impacting early deaths for 5 out of 6 Americans. After today, you will be able to maximize your health potential. In the next 20 to 25 minutes, you are going to discover the most powerful, the most effective, and the most natural ways that you can get the best results possible for you and your family. Now, I've done dozens of public talks, and I've noticed a pattern. The first is that the people who participate, who engage, always get the most out of the information. So attached to the email that you got this video link is a PDF that you can print out, fill out, and bring with you on your next appointment. Doing that's going to make sure that you got the most out of the information, and that's the first step to getting better results. You see, it's just like two guys who go to the gym. First guy walks in, talks to everybody, doesn't lift the weight. While the next guy goes in and he's lifting, he's working, he's sweating, he's putting in the work. Who's going to get the better results? That's right, the guy who's putting in the effort. While the other guy just wasting everybody's time. Say yes if you know this guy. I do. Now, I'm curious if you've ever gone to a seminar or a workshop and you learned some really great information, but for some reason you got distracted and forgot to implement what you learned. Well, I hope today is different. I hope today's information inspires you. I hope it moves you, and if it resonates with you and makes sense, at the end I'm going to give you a great opportunity that you can help share this information with others. Is that okay? I hope it is. Now, I've also noticed that when I've gone to seminars and workshops myself, I always get more out of the information that I learn when I know a little bit more about the messenger. So if it's okay, I want to share a little bit of my story with you today. I was interning in a chiropractic office with 4 chiropractors with 4 different backgrounds, and we saw patients from newborns to patients in their 90s, pregnant mothers, workers' comp and auto accident cases, athletes and patients that needed nutritional needs, and of course, the 9-to-5 worker. Well, one night, we're getting ready to close up the office, and we get a phone call from little Katie's dad. And she's not feeling well. So Dad wanted to bring her in to get checked, and of course, the clinic director says, "Yeah, bring her on by. I'll hang around." Well, I did too. And when this little girl walked through our door, her face pale, hanging her head, she even got sick in one of our exam rooms. Sickest child I've ever seen. Once we cleaned up the exam room and she got adjusted, the change I saw was dramatic. Went from night to day. Her face had color. She was smiling and skipping around our office and exam rooms. And I was wondering, what just happened? Well, once Dad got adjusted and they left, I turned to the clinic director and said, "Dr. Roswell, what did you just do to that child?" She says, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, she came in, she was sick. She even got sick in one of the rooms. And then you did something and she left and she was happy as could be." Dr. Roswell just put her hands up like this and said, "I adjusted her." So I let that process a second. And I said, "Wait, you did that with those. That's a cool superpower and I want it." I immediately started my chiropractic journey. So now that you know a little bit more about me and why I'm so passionate about helping others, I hope you're ready to start getting better results. But I want to start off by asking you a couple questions to feel you out. So I hope you have your PDF ready. First, are Americans healthy or unhealthy? That's right. Americans are unhealthy. Who spends the most on healthcare? What country? I'm sure you guessed it. It's the United States. We spend $2 trillion a year on healthcare, with a vast majority of that going towards chronic illnesses such as obesity, heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. And the best answer we have is stay home, wash your hands, no hugs, no high fives, wear a mask, and let's pray and hope for a vaccine. Come on, man. There's got to be a better answer. Which country takes the most prescription drugs? I'm sure you guessed this one right as well. The United States. We take 45% of the world's prescription drugs. That's almost half. Where do you think the United States falls on the list of healthiest countries? 38th. United States, according to the World Health Organization, ranks 38th on the list of healthiest nations. But we spend the most on healthcare, $2 trillion per year. We take 45% of the world's prescription drugs. Why are we not higher on the list? It's because our current model is failing. You see, we're sicker than we've ever been. And for the first time in history, life expectancy for those born after 2000 has declined. You see, we're all on a wellness continuum. And to the far right, we have death. A little bit further over, we have sickness and illness. Maybe a few steps over, we have some symptoms or neck pain, low back pain, something stopping us from enjoying life, having energy, getting quality sleep, traveling, being able to play with our kids or grandkids. A few steps over, maybe we're trying to exercise and eat a healthy diet. And then way over here, we have optimal wellness, where you're doing all the things necessary to guarantee that you can live the healthiest life possible. But are you as healthy as you want to be? Is your family as healthy as you want them to be? Which direction are you going on the continuum? And how fast are you getting there? Which direction do you want to go? Maybe it's your loved one, son, daughter, husband, wife, friend, coworker, somebody you know struggling with their health. Which direction are they going? In which direction do you want them to go? You see, I believe that we're in a healthcare crisis. Do you know why? Well, the first reason is personal responsibility. Who's responsible for your health? Is it your husband, your wife? Is it your boss, your insurance company? Is it the 17-year-old high school kid serving you fast food at the drive-thru? No, it's you. You're responsible for every health decision you make every single day. We all are. See, number 3 I'm going to come back to and tell you about later. But number 2 is that we have the wrong definition of health. What is health? Is health, I look good, so I must be healthy? I feel good, so I must be healthy? Well, let me ask you, what does heart disease look like? What does heart disease feel like? How about diabetes? How does that feel? How does that look? You see, by the time we start developing these symptoms, are we in trouble or are we in trouble? Say yes if you're with me. Now, I want you to think about this one with me too, because what I know is that if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. And if you're like most people I meet, you're not satisfied with continuing doing and getting the results that you're getting. You're not happy with the health results that your family, that your friends are getting. So let me share with you what I like to call the 10 questions and laws that every person should know and ask to be healthy. Number 1, are you designed to be healthy or be sick? That's right, you're designed to be healthy. Healthy is normal. Unhealthy is just the norm. Is your body designed to be smart or designed to be stupid? That's right. Your body is wicked smart. Your body has this innate intelligence that helps your body function, heal, without you having to tell it every step of the way. That intelligence flows from the inside out, above down, not the outside in. Number 3, what is the most important system in your body? That's right, it's your nervous system. Your nervous system controls and coordinates every function of your body. And if we want a muscle to move, your brain creates an electrical message, sends that message down your spinal cord and across those nerves, and it'll tell that muscle how to move, when to move. But if the message never gets there, do you think the muscle will move? No, it won't even flinch. But the same nerves send information to all of your organs. But pressure on nerves to the organ, you're not going to get pain, you're going to get poor function. And now we start to develop other health problems down the road. Problems like functional heart disease, arrhythmias, high blood pressure, asthma or allergies, could be digestive issues, bedwetting for young kids, menstrual issues, dizziness, attention deficit issues. Number 4. Oh, gave away the answer on that, but what do you think protects your nervous system? You got it. It's your spinal cord. Your brain and your spinal cord are the only 2 parts of the body completely encased by bone. How cool is that? It acts as your suit of armor. But when we have a kink in our suit of armor, or a misalignment in the spine, that misalignment could be off midline, you could lose a curve, or those vertebrae could twist out of place. Well, those misalignments, we call them subluxations, cause that nerve interference. And now, that kink in the spine, that kink in your suit of armor, now leaves you more susceptible to injuries and health problems. Number 5, is life stressful? Well, if you're like most people I know, life is stressful. And when we look at stress, we break it down into a couple different areas: mental stress, chemical stress, and physical stress. Now, mental stress has to do with emotions, work stress, life, finances. Because what happens when we have that type of stress? We tense up, we get tight. Now, because those muscles are not reacting the way we need them to, it can pull the vertebra out of alignment, pressure on the nerves. Now we start to develop problems. Chemical stresses, the things we put into our bodies. If you smoke, drink, take lots of medications, eat a sugary diet and processed foods, that can cause problems with your nervous system. And now, again, we develop health problems. But then there's physical stress. And when we look at physical stress, we break that down into macro and micro. I think macro stresses are the easy ones for everybody to understand. Those are the car accidents, the slips, the falls, sports injuries. Easy to understand that those could jar your spine out of alignment, cause nerve irritation, and now we develop health problems. But it's the micro stresses that affect most people today. These are the postural effects. Sitting for long times at our computers and desks, spending a lot of time on our cell phones and tablets, even in young kids, can start to reduce the natural curve in the neck, strain the nerves, strain the muscles, and I'm sure you've guessed it, can cause health problems. You see, sitting for your spine is like sugar for your teeth. It rots it. The more we ignore movement, the more likely we are to cause early degeneration of the discs. The padding between the vertebrae, they give the nerves enough room to move freely. 90% of motion comes because of the spine. Now, number 6, what is all this stress doing to your body? That's right. Stress causes a subluxation. That subluxation, that joint misalignment, causes soft tissue damage, causes irritation to the nerves and inflammation, can cause the muscles to spasm. Now those joints are get in a fixated and stuck position, and now we start to have challenges. That stress hormone, cortisol, gets released in higher doses, and that can start to reduce your immune response. But what does that cause? What is the real cause of health problems? What do you think? That's right, subluxations. Subluxations can cause so many health problems the longer and longer they're there. And most of the time, these subluxations are silent when they first happen. Then 10, 15, 20 years later, now we start to develop symptoms, whether it's headaches, neck pain, low back pain, or sciatica. Symptoms into the arms or hands. Or maybe we develop high blood pressure, asthma, mental barriers like depression and anxiety, digestive issues, reproductive organ issues. You see, all these signs, all these symptoms are just like a smoke detector going off. You wouldn't just take the batteries out of the smoke detector to take away the symptoms without finding the cause, to find out why the smoke detector was going off. Is there smoke? Is there a fire? The best way to figure out why that smoke detector is going off is to treat the cause and not the effects. Question 8. How do you know if you or your family have a subluxation? Well, if you're watching this video, you've already taken the first step to have your spine checked, because only a chiropractor can detect and correct subluxations. The way we do this is we go through a history. We find out, what are your health challenges? We talk to you about your traumas, those macro traumas, the accidents and injuries, your micro traumas, your job, your lifestyle. We perform an exam to find any indications that might lead us to say, this is where those misalignments can be. Take x-rays to determine exactly where your subluxations are, confirm those subluxations, determine how long those subluxations have been there based off how much arthritis and damage we see. Based off of that, that can let us know how long the correction process might take and what we need to do for you specifically. Question 9. What should you do to correct problems with your nervous system? Well, again, you have already taken action. But do you know anybody else that's struggling with their health? Is it your son, your daughter, young kids, your neighbor? Tell them to take action now so that they can get better results, so that they don't have to struggle each and every day. Now, to get the best results, we always talk about the three-legged stool of results. And the first leg is getting adjusted in rhythm so that your spine and your nervous system move forward faster than everything we can do outside the office can cause us to take steps back. Number 2 is to break the bad habits that are causing your subluxations. Things like poor sleep positions, amount of time sitting or spent on phones and at computers. Maybe it's how you stand or lift. Number 3 is to add the exercises and stretches so that you can strengthen the spine and hold those adjustments longer. These 3 steps, these 3 legs of the stool, will guarantee that you get the best results faster. And let me show you what that looks like. This is baby Rocco. And when baby Rocco came to see us, he was 3.5 weeks old. He wasn't sleeping well. He was throwing up and screaming all the time. So mom and dad brought him to the pediatrician. Pediatrician wanted to put Rocco on Zantac to help with the diagnosed reflux because he's throwing up a lot. So he must have reflux. And because he's screaming, diagnosed with colic. Well, mom and dad didn't want baby Rocco to grow up surviving on Zantac from 3 weeks old to an older adult. So they brought him in to see us. And the first thing you'll notice about Rocco's posture is that he's completely arched back at almost a 90-degree angle. Not the normal posture of a 3.5-week-old baby. So we checked Rocco's spine and noticed that the top vertebra in his spine, C1, was shifted off to the right. We told mom and dad that the stress on the nervous system that high in the spine could certainly cause him to scream all day, not sleep at night, and cause reflux. We explained to them that the adjustment for Rocco would be a very light, easy, vibrational-like pressure at C1. So with permission, we made the adjustment. And after Rocco's first adjustment, almost 80% improved. You can see he's not arched back. He's still looking up, so he's not out of the woods yet. He should be looking straight across. But after a few weeks and a few more adjustments, Rocco fully recovered. Stopped throwing up, started sleeping better, and stopped screaming. So Rocco was happy, and so was mom and dad. Rocco's about 6 years old today, and he's perfectly healthy. But we also see patients like Chris. When Chris came to see us, he was suffering with low back pain. And before Chris had that low back pain and he had symptoms into his legs and feet, he was active. He was exercising, traveling a lot for work, spending time with his family. But after developing the symptoms, he stopped exercising. He was more uncomfortable while traveling, and he was worried that anything that they did with his family may trigger his low back pain and he'd suffer the consequences. So we took x-rays of Chris's spine and we showed them to him. We pointed out the subluxation that was causing pressure on his nervous system and causing the low back pain and symptoms into the leg. Skeptical, Chris started getting adjusted. And when he started getting adjusted, he started to see slow improvement after the first month. 3 months in, a little bit more. By the 6th month, he was about 80% better. And after a year, Chris is now continuing wellness care to make sure that he can continue to exercise, continue to travel for work as needed, and make sure he can spend quality time with his wife and daughter. We're so happy for Chris. We also see patients like Jan. This is Jan. This is Jan happy. But Jan was not always happy. Jan, when she came to see us, had limited range of motion in her neck with moderate pain. And she thought she just had to live with it because of her age. She's only 68 years young. After seeing an ad, she came in, we checked her spine, we took x-rays, and we pointed out a significant amount of arthritis in Jan's spine. She started getting adjusted and she saw dramatic improvement. But not just in her range of motion and decreased pain, but her energy, her motivation. She started to exercise more. She started to stick to a healthier diet. And since she's lost 32 pounds. We're so happy for Jan. Now, I know that there are 3 reasons why people don't take action. The first is time. We feel like we don't have the time to get checked, to treat our issues. Because let's be honest, who wants to sit in a doctor's office waiting for 45 minutes to see their doctor, to have a 5-minute conversation, just to walk out with a little piece of paper with a prescription drug on it? A system that treats the effects and not the cause. I also know that we have an effort issue. We don't want to put the effort into fixing our problems. But I can tell you that a 10, 15, or 20-year problem won't be fixed in a month. It won't be fixed in a couple of months. It takes time and dedication. But the third is money. Fixing a problem can be expensive. But what's more expensive? An oil change every few months or a new transmission? That's right, it's the oil change. If we keep doing what we're doing, we will keep getting what we're getting. You see, I get asked all the time, who should get checked? When should they get checked? And this is question law 10. See, I know that there are 2 groups of people. See, we have the pandas, and they're happy with the health results that they're getting. They're happy with the health results that their family is getting. They feel good. They like the way they look. They like the way that their body functions. And that's really cool. But then I know that there are the hyenas. And they're hungry. They're hungry to look better, to feel better, function better. They're hungry for better results. If you know somebody that's struggling with their health, they're probably a hyena. Now, I told you we were going to come back to the third reason we're in a healthcare crisis, and it's because of procrastination. The reason we try to help so many people and spread our word, spread our mission, is because we know that there are people who will hear information, want to take action, but they get distracted. They don't decide to implement. We call that the law of diminishing intent. And for every day that passes without taking that step, without having their spines checked, that's just one more day they need to suffer. So, I want to thank you for watching. And I want to ask for your help. If you know anybody, if you know a business, church group, other organizations that you feel that somebody should hear this information, hear how they can start getting better results, start getting their health back, we would love to come do a talk. We would love to set up an opportunity to explain and share how they can get better results, just like you. Now, I want to leave you with just one more thought on family tradition and tell you a story about a family who every year would celebrate birthdays. They would all get together. They would have a big cake. They would celebrate. And whoever birthday it was, if they were turning 15, they would get 15 wishes. If they were turning 20, they would get 20 wishes. This year it was Dad's turn, and he was turning 40. They got together, they had their cake, they celebrated, and Dad pulls out this big piece of paper. He starts reading his list of wishes. He says, "This year, I'm taking everybody to Disney." And everybody starts clapping and cheering. Yeah! Reads the next one. "This year, I'm running my first 5K. Everybody starts cheering again and clapping as Dad goes down his list all the way to number 40. Well, next year, Dad's turning 41. The family gets together. They have their cake and they celebrate. This year, Dad picks out just a little piece of paper out of his pocket. He only had one wish. He said, "This year, I'm going to get my health back." You see, Dad was diagnosed with cancer. And when you have your health, you have many wishes. When you don't have your health, you only have one. My job as a chiropractor is to make sure that you and your family have as many wishes to be as healthy as possible.